Meditation was the first practice. It introduced me into the power and potency of building a toolkit of tools to help me in my evolutionary journey. Meditation was the first one, and what was so valuable about it, like I mentioned, was the stress reduction. This systematic process. This is especially true with Vedic meditation. I think it's true for most meditations, but the systematic process of closing the eyes, sitting for 20 minutes, thinking the mantra, and releasing and purifying stress from the body, and also allowing the body to face future stressors and to be able to handle it with more resiliency.
How did you discover meditation? What did your practice look like? And how did you cultivate that practice in the midst of such a high octane life at that time?
A lot of people in general get into meditation, and it was through challenge and pain. It was through the suffering I was experiencing with my own mental health. The panic attacks that I was experiencing were so uncomfortable, and I was so hungry to find ways to help alleviate and move through some of that internal discomfort. And in that process of kind of looking at what that might be, I stumbled upon meditation.
Jesse is a meditation leader, keynote speaker, and leadership coach known for founding the mass meditation movement, The Big Quiet. He's named the meditation expert by the New York Times. Jesse has led some of the largest meditations on earth, having toured arenas with Oprah Winfrey and co-hosted international broadcasts with Deepak Chopra. Jesse is an Audible Originals best-selling creator and a Forbes Next 1000 recipient. He's collaborated on meditation projects with Grammy-winning rappers, coached the world's most influential entrepreneurs, and keynoted at Fortune 500s around the globe. What did you feel would come about if we could all get together in giant arenas with Oprah and meditate together? Why?
It was really interesting the way that it unfolded. It all happened really organically, based on feeling into each present moment and making choices for how to respond and move forward based on intuition. Really, it was it really unfolded from there. It felt really good. And it was through the building of these little small group meditation moments where I just kind of started to get these little hits of, what if it wasn't just us meditating over here behind the stage? What if the whole festival was doing this? What if the main stage attraction was a mass meditation where we could all be in silence together? I just started to kind of get these little hits of it. And that led to this calling to continue to just organize, to continue to just bring people together. And the way that it grew to that larger scale that you mentioned in your question, Gabe, was really just by focusing on what are the needs that people have? How can we do this in a way that serves those needs? And by following that and listening to the community, it just started to grow. And it extended from my buddy's apartment into other venues, and just, Madison Square Garden, the top of the World Trade Center, under the Blue Whale. And then there we were, by the 5th year anniversary, touring with Oprah. And that was pretty incredible, to have gone from these little meetups backstage at a music festival to being on one of the biggest stages in the world with Oprah, 17,000 people in an arena in total silence, sharing quiet, having space to allow ourselves to vulnerably feel what we feel, but to be talking about it with Oprah on stage. And it was just the coolest thing to be able to witness. But to close it up, it wasn't planned. It was something that really came through us. It never felt like it was, I'm responsible for this thing, or my team and I are responsible for this thing. It was something that moved through us that we felt needed to come to life, so we just followed it.
So what's your personal perspective on the place of meditation within this kind of broader suite of activities and exercises that we pursue when we're trying to improve our mental health and our well-being?
So, meditation became this kind of entry point into helping my nervous system find rebalance. But then I started a gratitude practice around journaling. And I realized how much gratitude, and journaling specifically, helped me shift my neural pathways from what tended to be thoughts that would often go into a darker, more negative pathway, into, with time, through cultivating a journaling and meditation and gratitude practice into thoughts that were more inherently focused on and rooted in the good of my life and the beauty of my world. And of course, this has been a balance my whole life. I haven't mastered that.
How does that get you to deeper understanding of self? And how does that understanding of self emerge from that fertile ground?
And when I started to practice meditation regularly and was able to move through some of the noise that was existing within me and around me, and it became quieter inside, and I was able to kind of listen more to myself, hear more of my intuition, really feel more into, what are my greatest gifts, what brings me energy that I can give myself to, that I'm also, uniquely good at doing, that, serves the need and helps or lifts others up. The more I kind of listened and felt into that, the more I realized that the role that I was in my record label in the music industry was something that was great for that period of time, but I'd kind of maxed out on my growth.
How we're feeling and how we go about our day, and therefore how we structure our lives and what we spend our time doing, and the quality of the things that we do.
The answer is tied to a response to what people need and yearn and kind of crave for most right now in the world. I think as we become more isolated and disconnected from each other, and as our mental health challenges and suffering tend to increase, there is more of a desire to be together in community and feel like we belong. And also in leadership, to talk about and voice the journey so we aren't going through it by ourselves. As these challenges in our culture continue to increase, it pushes us more towards moments of humanity.
What are we reaching for that if we can embody and grasp that together, we can have a more enjoyable experience of life, perhaps a more meaningful and beautiful experience of life together? How would you describe that?
I think when we're able to just really be true to who we are, right? When we're able to really have the messy experience and we're able to really, bring our truth and whatever we're going through to the table, and have that be, seen and held by others, and for us to be able to do that for other people, that we get to just accept and celebrate who we are in the moment. That we get to be the person that we actually are, instead of the person that we feel like we're supposed to be. And being granted that permission to just be true to ourselves, I think is just such an innate desire for people right now. In these moments where people are able to do that, if it's through a group experience, if it's through a breakthrough they have with journaling, if it's through meditation, allowing for more of the truth of who we are to come through, I just think it's healing. I think it's incredibly validating for people.